Welcome to Asylum Live, January 13th, 2025, with our guest, Dragon Girl. Hey, Dragon Girl, say something profound for us. Okay, that she tried. That's awesome. So excited to have Dragon Girl here tonight. We're gonna have a lot of fun talking with her. Get your chats and everything in the peanut gallery, so I know the questions that you want me to ask her. We're gonna have a lot of fun tonight. I don't know much about her. She doesn't have much social media, and y'all know that's how I learned. So we're gonna get into this interview, and we're just going to find out as much about her as we can. Dragon Girl, I'll bring you back up in here. So what were you trying to say that I so rudely cut you off on?
I honestly don't even remember.
That's great. That is great. That is great. So how is the weather in your area? I've been trying to ask that a lot. There's a lot of interesting weather going on right now.
There's a lot of people are not going to be happy with what I have to say about the weather tonight.
Ooh.
It was about 85 today.
Oh,
it was overcast.
I always forget where you are.
I will take an overcast 85 day over the snow that some of you guys are having right now.
Oh, totally. Totally. That sounds nice. Of course, now I was a Mississippi boy, so I grew up with like snow every 10 years, right? And so I'm in Virginia now, and we've had like the second best snow year since I've been here. So I enjoy it. I like it. You can have your 85. I'll get 85 later, and I'll be happy. So now, have you always lived in Florida?
Born and raised here in Orlando.
Oh, wow. Nice. That's nice.
Yep.
So now I did notice one of the things now, since we're talking about Florida, going through all of your stuff, there's all this Disney stuff all over the place. Are you a big Disney fan?
I mean, I've been going to Disney since I was 6 months old.
Okay.
The first year annual passes came out, we got them. I have had them. I've gotten rid of them. I've had them. I'm currently without them. So I wouldn't say I'm like one of those crazy Disney adults, but you know, Disney is definitely part of my life. That's how I was raised. It's just, you know, part of me, who I am. I did work at Universal Studios, so when it comes down to the two, I'm a Universal girl at heart. I'm excited for the new Epic Universe that's coming out.
That's cool.
In May.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I do like Universal. Universal was a lot of fun when I went. That's probably the most recent park that I've been to. But I did like Universal. I like Disney. It's just been a long time since I've been there.
Disney changed a lot over the last few years, and I'm not as happy with them with all the changes. So
right. Well, I know there's a lot of park issues, and I'm sure you get so much of it. You probably just get inundated just on a daily basis with it.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it's funny because I tell people like when you've never been raised here, when you think of Disney, you think of all the magic and the fun, and because I have worked not for the park but at the park, and I have friends that work for the parks, and I know the backside of Disney. I would like to say
gotcha.
It's not the same. So I hear like the negatives along with all the magic and fairy dust and
you get the local news is what you're saying. You don't get the national news. You get the local.
I get the inside.
Yeah.
Insiders look at it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's awesome.
I'm not saying it's bad, and I wouldn't tell anybody not to come, but you know.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. I do. You know, I've worked in a lot of different places in my life that people enjoyed going, and you know, working in those places and being in those places all the time totally gives you a different experience than everybody else. I get that. Well, hey guys, thank y'all for being here tonight. Just remind everybody that's coming into the room right now, we are interviewing Dragon Girl of TikTok fame, I should say. That's where her big audience is. Now, she is also over on the Discord. We have a great Discord in our community, the Asylum Life community. She's also in a lot of other Discords and a lot of different places. So she's really, really easy to find if you check out her channels. I think you have a TikTok and an Instagram is what you have, right?
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Discord.
Okay. That's cool. So that's where you can find her. Y'all know we've all been talking about kind of diversifying and making sure that the people we enjoy following, we follow them in a couple of different places just in case things happen. Oh, so just before we went live, I saw in my Discord over here, pop up a little announcement that says that the Apple Store is about to add TikTok back to it.
Ooh.
Apparently they got the letter finally from the government saying it's going to be okay, and so they're supposed to be putting that back up. I did post that in my Discord as well, so if anybody wants to go see it, hop over there. That's kind of exciting. That might mean maybe some things are happening. Maybe, we're all sitting here waiting for this period of things, just waiting to see what happens. Maybe that means, you know
Cross everything.
who knows. We don't know. Anyway, so guys, I'm just going to kind of start going through and asking her some questions about things I've seen on TikTok. There's like these interesting ear things I'm seeing all over the place. There's lots of booths and products. So there we go. There's some of the ears. I definitely want to talk with her about just the things that she sells. I want to talk with her about how she goes about it. What's her strategy and the goals? What's she trying to accomplish? And so we're going to really dig into that. But I want to get questions from you guys as well, and I want to make sure that I get your questions answered because we're all here to learn about Dragon Girl together. So talk to me about these ears you have. They look really
All right.
interesting. I
So
see Maleficent and I can't see the other one.
it's Maleficent's dragon.
Oh, okay.
Actually, but look at this. I can take it off and show you.
Okay.
So, um, my ears are magnetic and interchangeable. They are 3D printed. And so, let's say I like Maleficent's face, but I don't want the dragon. But I'm feeling kind of villainish. I can sit here and click in Ursula, and there we go. We've got villains.
Okay.
Um, they were not feeling villains, but we like Ursula. But we also like to have the Little Mermaid. We could do that. And Purple Bow doesn't quite go, so let's change it out and
Well, you've
put
you've
in our
kind of got
rainbow.
the whole gamut then, huh?
So,
You've got everybody.
yes. But here's the thing: not everybody likes wearing a headband, right?
Right. Right.
I mean, most guys don't want to wear headbands, but they may want to wear some ears. So I have done something interesting. I've engineered my own design for hats, and we can put these on here. But what's cool about this is I could change it from hat to hat. So here's my W2
Okay.
hat.
Okay.
We've got these holders on the outside that are magnetic and they come off. And then my system works on any hat that has one of these sweatbands that folds over. And my band slides into that. So we have this and it
Oh,
has little
okay.
feet. But when you travel, you may not want to worry about, having to keep it upright. So
Right.
it breaks down totally.
Okay.
So it's very travel friendly. I have worn it on my floppy sun hat. I've worn it on my bucket hat, um, ball caps. And then for the headbands, they totally break
She's
down.
got them everywhere, people.
They
Oh,
break down to this size.
that's
So if you're
nice.
traveling,
That's nice.
you're not taking up a lot of space. In a quart size Ziploc bag, I can fit two to three sets of ears, two or three bows, my headband or my hat band, and I can go to the parks and I can switch parks. I can switch meet and greets, all those different kinds of things,
Right.
and have my ears with me. Throw them in my Loungefly backpack, which doesn't give you a lot of room,
Mm-hmm.
and still have room for other things while I'm in the park.
And these
So,
these are all
um,
3D printed. This whole system is 3D
yes,
printed.
yes. So except for the headband,
Okay.
I buy the plastic headbands, but the band that goes in the hat is 3D printed. The feet, the holders, the things that are on top of the headband to hold these ears,
Okay.
um, are 3D printed. I wanted something that was stable. I can,
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great.
and same with the hats. So there are people that do 3D printed ears. They're magnetic for hats. Um, but they didn't stabilize them. So I see people losing ears
Okay.
regularly
So I've got
with it.
one statement from Ray Skullman says that you're a good listener because you're all ears. So, that's
Right? Yeah.
classic Ray, classic Ray. And then I've got
He's our Canadian.
off the wall quilt is asking, do you do the ears in
Yes.
other shapes besides the round?
Right now I don't.
Okay.
It is something I have looked at. I have started playing more with going outside the ear. So when we look at Maleficent, her horns are coming out, and when we
Right.
look at Ursula, her tentacles are coming out. Um, so I can do that, but the thing is, my holders are designed to this curve here. So
Right.
whatever I do, I have to build
You'd have to build off of
that.
that. And so, okay,
Mhm.
I need my chickens.
So
I need the ears with
that's
my chickens for to I could put them
okay.
on my
So this
hats.
is something I was wanting to do for Remurf. Anybody's going to be at Remurf that has a layered SVG file of your logo. I would like to print an ear or two of your logo, and then while we're at Remurf, I will change them out.
Oh, that'd be cool. That would be really,
So
really cool. That would be really cool. Y'all hear that? So reach out to her, guys. Where's the best place for them to reach out and get you?
Um, I mean, you can always get me on TikTok. You can message me on TikTok. You can message me on Instagram. Those are two great places
Okay.
to get me.
So there you go. There you go. If you're interested in something like that, guys, definitely reach out to her. I know she'll make that happen. No, that's really cool. I like the idea of the hat thing.
Right.
I've got
I wear the hat more than the headband now, just because it's
yeah.
more comfortable. I mean, my headband I buy is a comfortable headband,
Okay.
but no matter what kind of headband you have, you're eventually gonna get that what I call headband fatigue, where it's
Right.
pushing right here, and you're like, okay, I've had enough of this.
Right. Okay. Okay. No, that's pretty cool.
So,
So now you make
also, when you
those. Now you said SVG, so I assume you're
yes,
designing the SVGs for this, bringing it in and extruding it. And
yep,
that's kind of your process for the ears.
it is
What software are you using for that?
Inkscape and Tinkercad.
Okay. Okay. That's cool. Now how long have you been doing the ear thing?
I started 3D printing or I got my 3D printer just before COVID.
Okay.
Um, and I shortly after, just before COVID, I started tinkering with the ears, and after COVID, really started going to markets and shows and things like that.
Okay. Okay. No, that's cool. COVID seems to be a very familiar story for a lot of 3D printers as far as getting their start and everything. Now, what was your first printer?
My first printer
Hmm.
was the Prusa MK3
Oh,
um,
nice.
or MK2, probably MK2. I don't remember. One of
If you
the
bought it
Prusas.
around COVID, it was probably the MK3. I got the
MK2,
MK3
three,
Plus
yeah,
at the end
yeah,
of COVID.
yeah. It was the
Yeah.
three. And then I got the MMU2, which
I'm
I
sorry.
hated. Um,
That MMU is
I
not good.
No, I say that that printer and I had a love hate relationship. We love to hate each other.
Yeah.
I literally would be like, I've had enough of you, and walk away for like a month and come back to it. It was frustrating.
Yeah.
So when I got the bamboo and it worked so well, I was just like, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
But during COVID, we were running the Prusa. My dad had a Delta printer, and we got an Ender 3 clone. We were running all three printers 24/7, making the bands that went behind your head to help hold the mask strings off the backs of your ears.
Right.
And yeah, we were definitely printing some of those
Okay.
at that time.
Okay, my chat is catching up here. Somebody's saying you should do like little devil horns, and I like the logo idea. I think that's great. I have another idea I'm going to talk to you about offline that might hit another
Please do.
industry that you might like. We got
I'm all for
Texas
it.
Leo in the room. Good to see you. How are you doing tonight? Good to see everybody coming in. Right now, guys, we are talking to our friend Dragon Girl. I want to call her Dragon Lady all the time. It just kind of
I
rolls
answer
off the
to that.
tongue better.
You can call me that. One of my good friends, her daughter, that's what she calls me, so I answer to it.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let me just kind of scrolling through here, seeing if I'm missing any
Yeah.
questions or anything. Do 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 do. Nope. I
Chris,
think
it's never too late to join us at Remurf.
yep. Never too late. Remerf's going to be a really great show. There's going to be a lot of people there this year. It's going to be fun. I'll be at the table and walking around some. You'll be there. Now, do you have a table, or are you just coming to kind of hang out?
I, I'm gonna come hang out. I've told Dud I'll come relieve him
Oh,
at his booth if he needs some
okay.
people to stop in and help him out.
Okay.
So
That's awesome. I'm sure Dud will be very happy. I was
yeah,
glad when he told me last week he did made his order to take to Remerf. I'm like, good. That
yeah.
means he's coming. Yeah,
I've
Clove.
seen the list. I've seen the list of the filaments that are going, so it's going to be nice.
She's got the in, guys. She's got the in, most definitely. Couldn't afford to get out there, sadly. I understand C&J, and it's a tough year. There's actually a graduation going on at the same time, which has made
Yeah.
it very expensive for the hotels. Now,
Yes, I'm lucky. My brother lives there, so I'm
oh,
not having to
okay.
deal with that part.
Okay. Now, will this be your first time to Remerve?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. This is a great show. This one and 3D Printopia are my favorite. I like the Indiana show, but it's a very specific type of show. It's really good to sit and talk to people and find some really cool things. But for your big, just kind of real huge, exciting shows, those two are really great. So guys, keep getting
Yeah,
your
I'm
questions
excited.
in. Yeah, I know a lot of people are. Keep getting your question in, guys, and we're gonna keep going. So first printer was the Prusa MK3. Now, you've also mentioned that you have a bamboo. So, how quickly did you get your second printer?
Well, we got the clone during COVID. We killed the Delta, so definitely needed um, something else. So we got the clone, and then I didn't get my like next printer that I really printed on,
Uh-huh.
like my ears and that kind of thing, until the X1 came out.
Okay.
So we got that in October when those came out. We got it in October,
Okay.
and I realized how easy it was to work on, and
Yeah.
that sold me on the bamboos. And so
Yeah.
now I'm up to three. So I'm not like a lot of you guys out there that have 13 or 14 printers. Oh, by the way, Lee Shepard, today is the 13th, and I'm on here, and nothing bad's happening. So 13 is a good number. He and I have a ongoing thing about the number 13.
Okay. Okay. I was
Um,
wondering. I was
so,
wondering.
but yeah, so I have three. I have the X1, the P1S, and the A1.
Okay. So you're all bamboo at this point. Now, okay. So
I
you
am.
mentioned the Delta printer. So where did the Delta printer come from? Was that
My dad had it before I got mine,
okay? And then you
but I
got
never
your
used it.
okay. And then you got your Prusa. So he had the
Mm-hmm.
Delta. You got the Prusa. Now, was it a Prusa or a Prusa clone? You said clone in
Prusa.
there, so I was trying to figure out
It
where.
was the Ender 3 was a clone.
There we
The,
go.
the Ender
Okay.
3 clone.
I was just making sure. I wanted to get kind of the
Yeah.
secession and everything.
Yeah.
So, all right.
No,
All right. That's
I
great.
got the Prusa.
Now,
So
did you put your MK3 together?
my dad did. My dad's an
I
engineer.
love that
He is
laugh.
a do-it-yourselfer. He is not the kind of person that's going to spend extra money if it's something he can do. And he said if he had realized how hard that printer was going to be to put it together, he would have paid the extra money to buy it pre-assembled.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's a lot of fun, but you don't expect a 30-hour build on
no.
something like that. So it can be a little overwhelming the first time you do it. But that's cool. I always think that's smart. Well, what was your very first print that you ever made? Do you remember?
I have no clue at this
Okay.
point.
Okay. What's your
Probably a Benchy.
a Benchy? Okay. Well, they had Prusa had the bat, the little batarang on
Oh,
it. They had the
actually,
Egyptian. Go ahead.
they had that dragon.
Yes.
That was the first thing I
Okay.
printed
Okay.
after the Benchy.
Yeah.
And that sat on my desk until I left that office, and it went to one of my coworkers.
Oh, cool. Okay. That's
So,
awesome. Did you find yourself passing out a lot of prints and things to people?
so
Yeah.
how do you not?
I
I
know.
mean, don't we all? Don't we all have something in our pocket or our bag where you have a good interaction with someone? You're like, yay, here,
Yeah.
have this.
Exactly. Well, and then there's some days you're sitting at home and you go, that printer's not running. Something needs to be printed. And then you go, I don't want this. And so you give it to somebody. Those are most of
All
my
my
days.
prints are normally ones that because I only have three printers. So if my printer's running, it's probably for a show.
Okay. Okay. Now, how do you prepare for a show? I know a lot of people always have questions when it comes to shows and knowing how
Um,
many prints to make, how to price your prints, all those types of things. So how do you decide? Let's start with quantity. How do you decide what to take with you?
um, based on because I do a lot of like little like neighborhood markets. So based sometimes if it's my first time, you're just kind of gambling and guessing.
Right.
I've never been lucky enough to sell out of everything, so which is nice because I like to have enough stock that if I'm going to have back-to-back shows, I'm not stressed. So I almost always have a printer running something.
Okay.
After a show, I do an inventory, so I have an idea of what needs to be run. And then every once in a while, I'm like, oh, this is something new I want to try, and I'll run a small batch of them just to see how they did. So I just had MegaCon, and
Right.
everybody's been doing the key clickers, and two things. One, I can't stand people clicking those, so I didn't want to hear them at my booth, but I wanted to have them. Two, I figured I didn't like hearing them, so other people may not like hearing them. So I did it with the silent keys. And when people come up to the booth, they pick them up, and I was like, "Hey, those are silent clickers, so they're classroom friendly and they're work friendly. So if you're a
Nice.
person that likes to click a pen and everyone wants to murder you, then this is a better option because you
That's
get
great.
that feeling without the noise. So
Yeah.
I that I sold out of all of those, and I just did a small run of like I think 30 of them, 30 or 40 of them for that show. But now I know, and we'll be printing many more of them.
Yeah, that is great. That is great. I love the idea. Oh, we got CJ stealing your idea. Going, ooh, that is a good one. I like that idea. Me, I would
he and
probably
I
go ahead.
he and I swap ideas all the
Oh,
time. He's
okay.
allowed to.
Yeah.
We're
I
good.
would probably sell the kit and say, here, put it together. Just so I wouldn't hear the clicks. But I am a pin
Yeah,
clicker, so I totally understand people getting that. Let's see. We got little kits. Yep, there we go. I like that people are using switches for those clickers. Yeah, those it is really nice. I didn't realize what they were using till recently. I don't do a lot of fidgets, and I had seen them, and I'm like, "How are they creating that mechanism?" And then somebody's like, "Oh, keys." I'm like, "Okay, that's
yeah,
cool. That is cool."
yeah,
So quantity, that's what we were talking about. Like,
yeah.
how do you decide
So I
that?
just so I have three main price points. I don't take my ears to market to like the little neighborhood markets.
Yeah.
I do those at the big con conventions.
Okay.
So I'm taking the articulated animals.
Right.
So I have my littles, and I'll do $3 a piece, 2 for $5, and I make sure I have a lot of these because at that price, it's hard for a parent to say no.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons. And that price point came about from MegaCon a few years ago, and there's really nothing at MegaCon that cheap for kids. And so I wanted something where they could get
Yeah.
something because it's not fun to go to those conventions and your parents are like, oh no, that's too expensive, you can't have it.
Right.
So did that. Then I did my like full size these kind of guys. These I put for 25, two for 45, and then I have a in between those two sizes, and it's $7, two for 12, and I'm not losing money on it, and I find that the buy one get one at a discounted price really kind of sometimes gets that little extra sale.
Okay.
So if you're already buying that one, well, why not add this one? Especially if like a kid's wanting like more than one.
Yeah.
Well, you can
Well,
get that one and that one.
I'm seeing that your little
So
Stitch apparently is a toddler favorite.
yes, um, that would probably be from my friend Belinda.
Yes, it is.
So yes, so because it's a chunkier articulated animal, we're not worried about like little pieces, coming off easily broken.
Right.
So I try to have things that are chunky and good for the toddler age. Um, so we're not
Okay.
worrying about choking and breaking and things like that.
Okay. So how do you decide on the price for a product? What's kind of your calculation that you go through? Everybody has their
Um,
own
pri- Price of filament and print time.
price of filament and print time. So no
Mhm.
work time, no like doubling
So
it to make sure or
no, I mean, here's the thing. I have a Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 job. I work from home, so I'm able to keep those printers running
okay.
while I'm working. So I don't really worry about paying myself.
Right.
Um, Kind of like in that sense, in adding that into it because I'm already getting paid while I have the
Right.
printers running.
Right.
And I've just started putting the glass eyes into my little guys, but that doesn't take me long to put those in. I normally will hop on a TikTok live and talk to people and glue eyes in. And then it's fun because I can be like, hey, what do you think of this eye with this one? And, I'm not having to do all the decisions.
Yeah.
So,
I saw
um,
you doing that with the dragon. It looked like you had been using like the unicorn elixir from Cookie Cat, and you had your green eye
yeah,
and a blue eye, and that was
pink,
pretty
yeah, the
cool.
blue and pink.
I love
And
the eyes.
actually, so it's funny. Because I only have three printers, I don't have the time to do the multicolor prints.
Yeah.
So I'm very particular about what filaments I pick. So I use a lot of rainbows and tris, duals. But when I add those eyes, it's like all of a sudden these animals
Yeah.
come to life,
That
and
is a
so
really cool
that's
addition. I
been
do
really
like it.
cool.
Yeah, that is
So
awesome. Hey guys, everybody who's new in the room, thank y'all for being here tonight. We are interviewing Dragon Girl tonight, Dragon Lady to some people. I'll say that every time, just like Tasha and Tasha. I'm going to mix the names up at some point in time. We actually have C and J. I keep seeing him rotate between all of my chat rooms, so he's hanging out in a couple of different places tonight. But thank y'all for hanging out, being a part. Dud is in the room. Are you saying bye
woo,
already, Dud? No way. You just
Doug, you
got
can't
here.
leave me yet.
I think this is your favorite person right here.
Yeah, that
Uh,
I am definitely when it comes to filament, I'm a Doug V girl.
okay.
Uh,
How
when I put my filaments into spool stock, yeah, he's the winner.
okay. Okay. Well, there you go. And that was actually going to be one of my questions down the road. So would you say Dud was your favorite filament?
Oh yeah,
Okay. And so
definitely.
you use it for a lot of the things that you sell, and
Hmm. Yeah, the
what
majority of my stuff is in his filaments.
what's the quality? What do you like about it?
Um, it's consistent. I know what I'm when I put a roll of dud in there. I know what I'm getting. Uh, I have no problems with it. Well, no offense, Dud, but I'm a little scared of the glitters right now. But um, that's not Dud's fault. Uh, Something in the factory has definitely changed on the glitters. But everything else, I put it in that printer and it runs. I used to have a love hate relationship with glow. I to the
Hmm.
point that I would never advertise anything could be ordered in glow in the dark because I never knew if I was going to be able to print with glow in the dark.
Right.
Um, Dud is the first glow in the dark filament I have been able to use consistently, not have to worry about um, clogs, and it's just that's what I love about that filament. I know what I'm getting every time I put a roll in
Awesome.
there, and the color he's got some really great unique colors. I mean, Swamp Rainbow is one of my favorites, and you're not finding swamp anywhere else. Um, it's definitely a dud color, and not a dud color, but a dud
Uh,
V color.
Yeah, I gotcha. That's
So,
a hard one.
so
That's a hard
yeah,
one.
but yeah, I know what I'm getting with it, and
Okay.
I'm willing to keep going with it since I know what I'm
All
getting.
right, so what's your favorite color? Is it
That one's hard. I have three that are ones that I use pretty regularly: camo, bone, and day glow.
okay?
Yeah, if I'm making like these little guys here, here I'll give you an example. Here's a snake, all right?
Okay, yeah.
That's in camo. That's in camo, and it looks like a real coloration, and that's what I love about it. So
Show that
it's
lizard you
it's
had.
great.
Show that lizard again. So
You want
that was one
this
thing I
one?
noticed, like in the video when I saw one of your videos, or maybe it would have been a picture with your stitches in it.
Yes,
These it's blue. It has this interesting texture to it. Like it's almost this translucent. It's kind of like that
it's a
lizard has.
translucent blue with silver glitter in it.
Okay.
That is not a Dudley color. This is not a Dudley color. This is
Oh,
Cinderwing, or
then
not Cinder. Cookie Cad.
yeah.
This is Cookie Cad.
Okay.
Um, in the blue, I don't remember what it was. I
Okay.
needed something that was kind of a stitch color blue,
No, I
so
gotcha.
I went on Amazon and found it. That one I will say that blue glitter is gonna it's gonna eat up your nozzle
Yeah.
because it's chunky,
Yeah.
and it does clog from time to time. So
Okay. Okay. Well, that's
just
cool.
something.
All right, guys, keep getting your questions in and everything. I'm watching all the rooms. Camo is pretty. C and J says, Dud. amazing filament and an amazing person. Yes, yes, he is, and he's probably left the. Oh no, there he is. I see him. There he is.
And Judd did point out something. All of his PLAs are PLA Pros,
Yes.
so it's another reason that you're getting a good quality filament with his filaments.
Yeah. And Dud, I've tried to stay silent through this so I can share the video and you can clip parts and put them on your channel for her to do a commercial for you. Okay.
Hey,
So
I have no problem with that.
so, all right. Well, cool. Let's see what other questions we have. We kind of gone off on that. How many shows a year do you do right now?
Um, I do two major cons every year. I do MegaCon and I do Fanboy.
Okay.
Um, I there's a neighborhood here called Avalon, and I do their Christmas market every year and their Halloween. I'm gonna start doing every year because those are really good. This past year was really the year of me really trying um, lots of things. I've gotten to the point where I'm comfortable doing that.
Right.
Not this weekend, but the following weekend, I'm going to Pine Castle Pioneer Days for the second year. Did wonderful there last year. The little charter school next to my house, they have Ducktoberfest because they're the ducks. And
Ducktoberfest. That's
yeah,
funny.
I did that this year and did wonderful. So I'm starting to
Okay.
try some of these little markets. We have Williamsburg Market, and so they have a market at the first Saturday of every month. So
Okay.
I try to go to those as much as I can.
Okay.
Oh, and the other one I did was Prehistoricon, and that one was really fun.
Hmm.
So it was all dinosaur themed. So
Okay. That's interesting. That sounds interesting. Sounds
it
much
was.
better than the ones we have. Everything up here is like antique festivals and everything.
Here's
So,
the thing, just I recommend getting online, looking for markets, looking for festivals, looking for even the small conventions. Like Fanboy's a lot smaller than MegaCon, but I still do really well there. So, if you have the means to try out one or two new things each year, take the gamble, do it, because you never know. I had some real duds this past year, no pun intended. Um, but I just know I won't do those this next year, and I'll keep going with the ones that did well, and that opens up the doors for me to try some new things.
right. No, I get that. I get that. Well, look, I'm going to give you a break a minute. I'm going to talk to everybody here and go through a couple of things, and then I'll come back to you. We'll finish out this interview. Guys, keep getting all of the stuff in the room. Get the questions there. If you have anything you want to say, any comments or stuff, please keep going. I'm enjoying the interactivity. This is a lot of fun. But what I like to do right now is I want to just call out the people who support the show. I always try to do this periodically just to make sure that everybody knows that I am thankful for what they do, for spending time. Now, I can't name everybody that always comes through the room, but I always like to name the sustaining donations first. These are the people who give on a monthly basis towards the show, and it helps get some hosting and helps me with the different software and things I need to use. That type of stuff really helps me be consistent in the shows that I can give, and I really appreciate that. Right now, we've got Killer Bright Workshop, Dragon Girl Designs, and Crappy Bot are our main sustaining donators, and then we have our gifters. These are the people who come into the shows and they give gifts during the show, and this is across platform everywhere. We've got Dragon Girl Design Co., Clove 3D Prints, Filament Fantasy, Nate's Print Shop, Maker MCA. I don't even know how to say that one. Curdy1 CMK, Tasha Z3D, Wicked Constructs, and Overlord. I want to thank y'all so much for donating and being a part of that. And then we have our watchers, the people who just spend time watching. I really appreciate you coming and being a part of the show and participating and chatting and just really stirring up the conversation. Nate's Print Shop, Dragon Girl Design, Clove 3D, Print, Craft, and Cards, Filament Stories, Granny Susie, Ocelot, The Sleepy Printer, Printed Crafts, and Printed Crafts finds. Thank y'all so much for being here. I really, really appreciate y'all being a part of the show. This show is really important to me, guys. And I always talk to you about the value. I always try to add value to the show. You know, Tuesday night we went through software. Tonight we're getting to know people that we really enjoy watching their content and talking to them on the lives. And so I like to add that value. And that's where this time, this talent, the treasure adds value back to me. And I really appreciate that. And I enjoy that y'all enjoy what we are doing together. If you want to do more together, you need to jump over to the Discord. We have a great time in the Discord. A lot of things starting to happen. We've actually got a giveaway going on right now. So get over into the giveaway room and become a part of that if you haven't yet. I think there were 42 people that were a part of that. And there's way more. There's over 150 people on the server. So I know some people have missed it. So we're giving away some cookie CAD filament, and that's closing this Saturday. So get in there as quickly as you can. We're going to start doing more at the beginning of March. We're going to be doing an AI prompt class by our resident AI guru, Modern Magician. We're still working the dates on that, so we'll be announcing that in the server as well. We also have some really great guests coming up over the next few weeks. We've got Juan Makes. We've got I always forget his name. It goes away. Zach Friedman is going to be coming, and he's going to be a part of this. We've got so many different people coming up over the next month for interviews that I'm really, really excited about. And y'all know me. I'm always excited, right? But let's get Dragon Girl back in here and ask her some more questions. Definitely get your questions in the room and let us know more about what you're interested in learning about what she does. We want to focus so much on just the person, not necessarily the stuff and all the things around them, but who they are and why they do what they do. So, who got you into 3D printing?
I mean, my dad had a 3D printer, so, and I am a daddy's girl, so I
Okay.
won't lie about that. So
That's okay.
my dad had a printer. I was buying 3D printed ears from somebody else, and my dad's like, if you had a printer, you could probably do that yourself. And so I started thinking about it and did a little looking into it, and I said, well, if I can get a Prusa, then yes.
I
And so for
gotcha.
Christmas that year, I got
Okay.
a Prusa. So.
Okay, great, great. And so now is he doing does he do all the business with you, or is this something you do by
I
yourself?
mean, he helps out from time to time for sure. My parents do freeze dried candy, so there's a
Ooh,
lot of times we're at markets together. So our booths are next to each other, so we help
okay,
each other out. He went to MegaCon and helped me set up the day before.
okay.
So yeah, I mean,
So has
if I
your
ask for if I ask for help, they help.
yeah, I get that. That's awesome. That's great. That's great to have parents like that. And so have they always been entrepreneurial and really kind of done businesses and maybe made you a part of it even from like childhood?
um, so I used to go to work with my dad. He's into engineering and things like that. I would go with him, and I would go into the production lab, and I would solder microchips onto printed circuit boards, and I'll put screw kits together in baggies. And if my dad said you want to go to work, it was almost always a yes. I always enjoyed spending time with him, and so um, we built my playhouse together when I was a kid.
Wow.
We've done a lot together. I'm lucky that he's taught me how to go out there and use tools and know how to do that kind of thing. So we're very much a DIY household, and I, that's how I was raised. So I don't think anything of having to, like, oh, that broke, let's figure out how to fix it.
Right.
So,
Right. So
and
that
my
was
mom sews, and my grandmother sews, and I've gone to sewing conventions, and I've learned some sewing.
okay.
I don't say that I'm good at it, but I have a great group of friends that I hang out with that they are sewers, and they get me to come to classes from time to
Oh,
time.
that's cool. That is cool. I love that stuff. My mom and grandma always made sure I knew how to sew and at least put buttons on and knit and crochet, all of that. Now, as a boy, your mom sewing all of your clothes and having to wear them to school was not necessarily the most exciting thing, but I never dressed like anybody else.
See, my grandmother made a lot of my clothes for
Yeah.
me growing up, and I loved it. And people would be like, "Oh, where'd you get that?" I'm like, "My grandmama made it." I,
Yeah.
I was proud of it. I was happy to wear it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I liked when she put patches
that's
on
a
my jeans and cut them and did really cool things like that,
cool.
that was different. So, but no, that's cool. I totally understand, that, and that's good. So your summers were spent probably, like you're saying, doing a lot with him
Mhm.
and then and your mom. Now during school,
Traveling.
traveling? What kind of traveling?
Yeah. When I was younger, every summer we had a place up in North Carolina. We'd go up to my grandparents had a trailer in a trailer park. We'd go up there, spend the hot Florida summers up on a mountain in North Carolina. So that was always nice, and I have great memories from being up there. Dad would come up for some of the summer, like a week or two, and hang out with us.
Okay.
He he got a nice break from us
Yeah.
while we were gone. Um, but yeah,
No,
we've
were you in the
we've
gold
been a
digging
travel
part of
family.
North Carolina?
A little town called Marion. It's right outside
Okay.
of Asheville.
Yep, yep. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I go to North Carolina periodically, but we go visit a gold mine and we spend like a few days digging and just having fun and
Oh, that'd be
getting in the
fun. I
river
would love
and
that.
sifting. And so, uh, I didn't know if you'd had that experience, but that's cool.
No, I
Well,
haven't done that. I've gone to some of like the gym things where they give you the bucket of dirt and you sift it.
right,
Um, Done that, but
right.
that's the extent of mining I've done.
What did you enjoy in school? Like, did you love school? Were there certain subjects that
Um,
you always wanted to make sure you were there
I
for?
never wanted to miss school because I have learning disabilities. So missing school meant I was behind
Mm,
and I was going to struggle even more. Um, Always been into the sciences. I love science stuff. One of my degrees is in environmental studies and urban planning. So
okay,
my other degree is in hospitality. Imagine that living in Orlando. Didn't have to have math for that one. So I
okay.
was not a
There
math
you
girl.
go. There you go.
Um, so
I'm with you
um,
right there.
I didn't like math. I've always struggled with reading. Never thought I would enjoy an English class, a writing class, anything like that. And I had an awesome high school teacher, Mary Hall, and she convinced me to take um, creative writing and contemporary lit,
Okay,
and they were some of my favorite classes. I also went to a small private school. I got to take marine biology. We got scuba certified, so I really enjoyed school. I was lucky to be able to go to the school I went to. So I got a lot of experiences that most people wouldn't. My graduating class was
right.
25.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, and most of us had gone elementary through high school together, so we were a close knit group. You know,
Yeah,
everyone didn't always get along, but we always had each other's back in the end. So that was kind of nice.
yeah. That is
I
cool.
really liked my school.
That is cool. So like
Um,
I'm sensing a couple, like we had marine biology stuff. We had, what was the other animal thing you had? I totally, not your major,
oh,
but
environmental studies and
environmental
urban planning.
studies, urban
Yeah,
planning, and
yeah,
hotel restaurant management type stuff.
yeah.
I feel like you're getting
Yeah.
ready to run a zoo.
Hey, I have definitely volunteered at the zoo.
Oh, really?
Yes, I was a docent at the Central Florida Zoo. And to be a docent at the zoo, you had to go through um, a training program, and it was like college level zoology. It was not easy. The test we had to pass. I mean, I had to know dentition. They would give us a skull and say, "What animal is this?" off the dentition.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
not. There is some word for the padding on the backside of a primate's butt. It's like the thick stuff that allows them to sit. It's just something or other. It was like this long. I had to know that.
Wow.
And the funny thing is that what the kids loved is fish don't fart and elephants float. And then, hey, I can show you a real unicorn. So that was funny because the greater one horn rhino
Righto. Yep.
is it, its Latin name actually is unicornus.
Yeah.
Um, so that was I'd be like, hey, look, we have a real unicorn.
Yeah.
I
Well, and that
love
was
I
always
love
the
reptiles.
historical. Whenever you hear the word unicorn back historically, they're always referring to that particular
Yeah, yeah.
particular beast.
And
Um,
it's but like I can look at a skull and tell you is it a white rhino or a black rhino.
wow.
A white rhino is not called a white rhino because it's white. It's the Dutch called it a white rhino, meaning wide, and it got changed to white.
Okay.
So I'm full of useless
Okay.
animal information.
I love it. I love it. So what
Yeah.
animals did you take care of?
I didn't take care of them. I took them out on program. 99% of the time, if I got to choose, I was taking the Savannah monitor, blue tongue skink, prehensile tail skink. I'm a reptile girl.
Okay.
Um, so that's kind of how I got my name. I did work at Petco for 8 years. I was a reptile specialist. So they sometimes say, "Oh, oh, you need help with a bearded dragon? Go see Lisa. She's the dragon girl."
That's
And
awesome. I love
hence,
that.
hence the name. Um, my first love of a dragon was Elliot from Pete's Dragon. So I've always been
Of
a dragon
course.
girl.
Of course.
So
Pete was
it's
the
fitting.
best dragon of all the dragons.
Yeah, I love
Uh,
it. So, but yeah, I I remember being at Petco one day and the mealworms. We would have to count them to make sure that the number of mealworms in the containers, what people were buying. And I'm sitting there sifting through these mealworms. I came home and I was like, "Mom, did we have mealworms when I was a kid?" I'm like, "I remember them being in a plastic container in the pantry." She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "Because you wanted them." I've always been that weird, creepy, crawly girl.
okay.
Um, I tell people I'm a Wednesday Adams at heart.
I like that reference. That's good.
So,
So at what age did you work at the pet place?
um, so I was a person that was on the long term planning for school. So I got my hospitality degree, did that for, oh gosh, I worked in hospitality for a long time and realized that really wasn't what I wanted to do.
Okay.
And I have a 2 year degree in hospitality, and I was looking to go to UCF for the hospitality program for the 4 year. But I needed to bump my GPA a bit, so I went back to Valencia, our little community college here, and I took environmental science, and I really liked it. I really liked my professor. And then I said to her, "What else do you teach?" She said, "I teach Florida environmental science." So I took that. So to bump my GPA, I'm taking all these science classes. And I said, "What else do you teach? I need to, another class." She's like, "I teach biology, Lisa. I better not see you in my biology class. You don't need biology." And she walked into biology, and
And you
there
were
I am.
there.
She's like, "What the heck?" She goes, "What the heck are you doing here?" I said, "I told you I have to bump my GPA." And she looked at everyone and said, "She's crazy." Um, but her daughter had
That's
gone
funny.
through the environmental studies and urban planning at Rollins College. And so she told me about it. And so I thought about it for a bit and decided I definitely want to make a change. And I was like in my 30s going to college. And so while I was doing that, I worked at Petco as a dog trainer and
O-
reptile specialist.
Okay. All right. So that was through college. What
Yep.
kind of stuff and I know you in school, what was your extracurricular activities like in high school and
Yes.
younger?
So for me to keep my grades up, we found the best thing for me was to not have any free time.
Okay.
So I played volleyball, basketball, softball, and I water skied. I did kneeboarding, and I did that professionally. So we were traveling on the weekends, going to tournaments. During the summer, we were traveling, going to tournaments.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, that
now
was that
was
was a lot
this
of fun.
was this like trick water skiing? Was this
So so on my knees,
explain, please?
yes. So kneeboarding, you are strapped to a board on
Right.
your knees. As water skier, like stand up skiers, do the slalom course. We have a slalom course that we go through.
Right.
So I did slalom. That was not my strong suit. Um, and then tricks, and I was pretty good at tricks. I was the youngest girl to land a flip in national competition until I helped train the girl that broke that record, which I was happy for her. Kind of like the 3D printing TikTok family we have here, where we're a close knit group of people and we're willing to help each other. Kneeboarding was very much like that.
Okay.
We were always helping each other. I will never forget, we had a 3 round trick competition. It was me and another girl. And it's like, okay, she did that this time, and I'm over here trying to redo mine, and my friend's over here with me helping to redo my trick run to make sure I could beat her, and she's got a friend over there helping her. And it wasn't that we were like not friends; we were having a good time. And it's like, okay, maybe we need to do, I need to add this one more thing, try one more thing. It was always fun. We pushed each other. We traveled together, even though we were competitors, and it was a lot of
Okay.
fun.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds great. How long did you hold that record?
Oh, I don't know, 2 years.
2 years? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
See how modest she
So
is,
I
guys? She doesn't even
yeah.
keep track of how long she
Well,
has records.
so that would have been probably have been my sophomore or junior year in high school. I stopped skiing my senior year in high school, and then I got back into it later on, and that's when I helped train Alyssa,
Okay.
and she was
Okay.
able to do it.
Okay. All right. That's pretty awesome. That's
So
great. So for
yeah,
somebody who was not allowed to be busy or have free time, you jam packed everything in, huh?
yeah, yeah. So we found that I kept my grades up better by not having free time. Because if I had free time, I'm like, okay, I've got time to go do that,
Right.
and so I'll go do something else. So, but having so much going on, I had to really like manage my time. And as someone with ADHD and learning disabilities and things like that,
Yeah.
it was an important thing. And again, I was lucky. I went to a small private school, so odds are, if you tried out for the sports team, you were going to be on it. I will tell you, I am the worst basketball player there is. I scored one basket in all the years I played basketball, and that was a fluke. The coach told the girls, inbound the ball to Lisa and don't anybody take it from her, because I was really good at handing it off to somebody else. My, I threw that thing up. It went in the basket. The gym erupted. The other team didn't know what to do. It was like we had won the game because everyone knew I'd never made a basket. So it was funny, but playing helped keep my grades up, and
Yeah.
I liked my teammates, and so why not?
Well, in team sports, if you have a good coach who is really encouraging teamwork and really, to me, there's nothing better for just teaching camaraderie and organization and how to work with other people. And I was always involved. I was never the player. I didn't play sports. I was the water boy most of the time. But that also put me into my first few years were medical school, and so
Oh wow, yeah.
I had my while I did audio engineering through school and ended up doing a lot of audio engineering, I had a lot of nursing and different things that based on just being a water boy and learn how to wrap ankles and everything. So that type of stuff always teaches you things.
So, softball was my love for high school sports.
Okay.
That was I started the softball team at my high school. I wanted a softball team. I remember going in the halls being like, "What are you doing this afternoon?" Nothing. Okay, here's a glove and a pair of cleats, and we've got a game. Come on. Um,
Okay.
and by my senior year, we won districts, so I was I was happy.
Fast pitch.
That was a fast. Well, we started off as a slow pitch team, but by the time I graduated, we were fast pitch.
Okay.
And since I've graduated, that program has won a few state tournament or state titles. So I can say that if it wasn't for me, that school would have never had those state titles because I was the one that wanted softball.
Mm.
My mom bought equipment. My mom bought uniforms. Like it, I am lucky to have the family I have
Yeah.
because they
Sound
definitely help me out
Sounds
and
like
do
it.
things for me.
Sounds like it. That is really great. Well, guys, just for everybody coming in, we're about 15 minutes out from ending the interview, but we are interviewing Dragon Girl Design Co. I guess the Co is company.
Yeah.
Yeah. And are you an official LLC? Cool. Awesome. I always encourage everybody to do that. So let's look at your online presence and kind of TikTok and Instagram. What I'm not doing this, y'all. She doesn't post much. I'm just gonna be straightforward. She doesn't post much, and she needs to post more. Y'all need to encourage her to post more. But she's like most of us and gets through something and goes, I should have recorded that. Yeah, we all do it. What are your goals? What do you have things that you're attempting to do with social media itself, or is it this just a fun kind of thing?
Social media is fun. I TikTok is something in the last. Oh, when did we have the hurricanes? That's how I met you.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
that's when I really got like connected with the 3D printing community, and since then I've really just enjoyed getting to know everybody on here, and it's been such a great community. So I did everything I could to get to my 1,000 followers so I could go live, and I
Hmm.
got those 1,000 followers, and I was like, I'm nervous, but I had people like you would allow me to be in a box, and that kind of built my confidence in getting to where I could uh, do it. And so now when I was getting ready for MegaCon, there was some late nights, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hop on, turn on a live, and people come in and join me and hang out with me. That's great, um, because I was able to not, you know, I squirrel.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
I understand.
but
I do.
having people there to talk to, I can like focus on what I need to do,
Yeah,
and I was able to get what I need to do done and get it done efficiently. So I really like that. Laws, as I go on to her lives when I can. Um, I'm Clove when she's on. I'm hopping in with her. Farrell, I've hopped in with her, and you know I've gotten to where I'm made enough friends in the community now. If I see somebody I know on live, I'm gonna hop in and support you. So that's kind of how I've done it. And then I started getting in with Discord,
okay.
and if I see somebody on live there, I'll jump in and say
Yeah,
hi.
yeah, and you do all the time. You come in all the time and say, "Hey." And I think it was, I guess, what, October, November of last year, when the
Yeah,
hurricane happened and we started doing the stuff for Hurricane Helena, the different prints and everything to send
yeah,
out. Yeah, a lot of us, I think, met during that time. That was just of a big time, and moving on into kind of the TikTok ban portion of it, we were all just kind of
yeah,
really rushing just to try to create these communities and make sure we stay connected and do all the things that we need to do not to lose each other, which I think, one of my themes for this year's relationships, and the strongest relationships are made through adversity. And I think uh, those two instances kind of tell that story really, really well.
I mean, for at least the last year, I've been on when Dud does a live on Sundays. I'm almost always there. If I'm not there, that's because I've had to do something on a Sunday where I can't be on, and I'm probably have pitched a fit that I'm not able to be on his live. Um, but I got to know Gemini through that. He was one of the first people that like reached out and really like made friends with me, and that really like to me meant a lot. That somebody that had just seen me making comments in Dud's lives reached out to me, and created that friendship, and it just has grown. And some of my favorite people now I know on TikTok, and I can't wait to get to Remurf and meet people in person.
I think that's the exciting thing about this year. I've been going to the Rep Rap festivals for the past couple of years, and it's been fun meeting everybody. And Filament Stories and I met at 3D Printopia. Um, Nate and I met online, but we met last year at Remurf. There's just different people at these festivals that you meet online. You get to talk to them. You might even do video chats with them, but being able to actually get in the location with them and talk to them and sit down at a table and eat is just, it's above and beyond anything we do on TikTok or Discord.
So,
Well, do you
so
have
all of y'all
oh,
out there, I want to say thank you
yeah,
for allowing me to be your friend and
yeah,
be a part of this community because it's meant a lot to me.
awesome. So when it comes to creators that you watch, who are the
Hmm.
creators, whether it's on the platforms like we talked about earlier, whether it's TikTok, Instagram,
Um,
Facebook, YouTube, who are the creators that you look to for inspiration?
uh, for 3D printing right now, Chris with C&J with his big statue that he's the Final Fantasy statue he's doing.
Yeah.
I'm really invested in that. If he posts a new video on it, I am sharing it out. Um, Gemini, I love seeing what he's doing. Nate, I you know follow his things. Clove is another one that I follow. Outside of the 3D printing community, I like Katie Van Slyke, Condiment Claire, um, and there's a few other people. Rebecca Miller, and I can't remember Elena's full one. Farm Girls.
The
And it's
firm.
fun to. I'm an animal person,
Okay.
so I'm gonna be drawn to that. So
Yeah.
there's a girl that does these jumping spiders, and she like voices them,
Oh
and
yeah,
they're all
voices of
cute. And,
they are cute.
I'm obsessed. My parents will not allow any spiders in this house, so I live vicariously through those little spiders, um, because I would love to have them.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Oh, C and J saying another 18 hours and I get to start on the legs.
Woohoo! I've never been
That's
so
awesome.
excited for a set of legs in my life.
That's I never thought I'd be talking about 3D printed gams. Anyway, uh, uh,
I joked with him that when he was a teenager, he probably never expected that he'd be printing himself a girl,
I know.
uh, because it's just so funny.
That's funny. That is funny. Well, I feel like we ought to get C and J and Juan Makes together because they're both seem to be doing some big statues together, and maybe they can do a big reveal live or something. That would be kind of fun. That would be a lot of fun. So, well, cool. Well, cool. Well, if as a 3D printer and somebody who's been in the community, and you've got, we've probably got. Let me look across here. About 30 people watching right now. And some of them are brand new 3D printers. Some of them are old 3D printers. And everybody's always looking for just inspiration or just food for thought. Do you have anything before we sign off that you would just like to say to the community, whether in thanks or whether in ideas or thought?
Don't be afraid to reach out if you're having issues. If you're something's not working right, your printer's not working right, you're working on a design. I reached out to Clove recently. I was working on a set of ears, and I worked on these ears for a couple of years now, and I had one part that just wasn't working, and I couldn't figure it out. And I reached out and said, hey, as a designer, can you see what's going wrong here? And it was great. And then she's been working on some stuff as she was running into problems. And so she reached out to me and said, hey, I'm having these problems. Have you seen this? Um, don't be afraid to, if you're new to the community, to reach out, ask questions. I found the TikTok community is probably the friendliest. Facebook, I find people can be very like, well, you could have looked that up, or why don't you know, or you should already know this kind of thing. But the TikTok group has been really good and supportive. Get into the discords and get to know us, ask questions. And to those of us that have been around and been doing this for a while, remember when people come in and ask those questions, they may be simple fixes and simple things to do, but if they're new, they don't know, and an encouraging word can mean a lot.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I've really, my prints have gotten better in the last few months just from the help I've gotten from the community, because I now have a community to reach out to that I'm comfortable reaching out to.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Everybody, tell Dragon Girl thank you for being here tonight. I just thank you so much for being here. Thank you for filling in at such short notice. For you, those of y'all who don't
No
know, she
problem.
found out about this interview yesterday because my other
Late
one,
yesterday.
late yesterday, we were sitting in a Discord room and she popped in and I went, her. And she goes, yes. And we were off to the races. And so it's been a lot of fun talking with you tonight. I'm going to drop you down. I'll come see you in the green room in just a second. I'm going to talk to everybody and then we'll close this thing out. Guys, thank y'all so much for being here tonight. I'm excited. We're across so many platforms tonight. We have so many people here just in different places. We're starting to bring that community together. And I want to speak to what she said about the community. Guys, this is a safe place. Sometimes we hate that word, but in Asylum Life, we like to say a safe place for crazy ideas. And we are a community that accepts everybody. We want the beginners. We want the professionals. We want the people who think they know what they're doing but mess up. We want everybody. And we will be happy to help. We'll be happy to be a part of what's going on. We'll help you solve your problems. We'll let you help us solve our problems. And we'll work together as a community because it's just really important that we all come together and just be a part of what's going on in each other's lives. That connection is so important. So like I always say when I'm signing off, thank you so much for being here. And remember to do the 3 things: live life to the fullest, grow in wisdom, and show what you've learned generously. Catch y'all next Tuesday.